Hello everyone. Hope you are all well today. I am really excited today. I have someone very special with me here today who's so generously given us his time, another very successful business partner in our online business. Tanvir, how are you today?
Good, good. How are you guys?
Good. So you're joining us from where, maybe if you could do a little bit of an intro for people in my page that may not know you, where you're from.
I'm originally from Bangladesh, and I live in Canada. I've been living in Canada for 14 years now. I recently moved to Toronto, Canada. I used to live in Saskatoon. That's a different state, different province. Yeah, it's been a month that we moved to Toronto. Well, not really in Toronto, just a little outside of Toronto.
All right. How are you finding it in comparison to where you were? Is it
Better,
colder?
of course, better. No, this is less colder. The where I used to live is like already we have like 2, 3 foot of snow, and it's -20 already. It's gonna go up to -60 in January and February. That's where I lived for 14 years. It looks like North Pole in the winter. I mean,
How did you handle that? You've got three kids in that sort of a weather. Is it difficult to because over here we're so warm all the time. We don't know what it's like to live in snow kind of
it's not
environment.
easy. It's difficult because every time you go out, you have to wear like 4 or 5 layers of things, and then a really heavy winter jacket. And so you have
Mm.
to dress your kids like that. And it's not easy to dress them up every time you go out and get them snow boots, tubes, mitts, like gloves. So it's very difficult to get them into the car when it's like -20 and the wind is blowing
Oh
and
my God.
blizzard. It's different lifestyle.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, hopefully, I don't know, in Toronto, how many months a year is it that cold? Is it as long as where you were? Saskatoon?
Saskatoon, like where I used to live, it's like almost 6, 7 months. But
Wow.
but here in Toronto area, like it doesn't get that cold, and the cold doesn't stay for that long. So,
Mm,
but where over there, it's crazy.
wow. That's crazy. So for just also for people who are watching us now, if you are tuning in from different locations, we'd love to know where you're sort of listening to us from. So let us know. Um, So I just wanted to, for people who may be listening to us for the first time or not sort of have much idea of what we're doing. So we're involved in an online business which has been around the company has been around that we work with has been around for 49 years. And the business has been online for 8 years. And from what I understand, Tamir, you've been working successfully in this business for 5 years. So what were you doing before this?
So before I started this business, I used to work in a hotel as a banquet supervisor. Like my background, I studied hotel management from Switzerland in back in like 2002. Uh,
Right.
yeah. So and then I worked in Europe for quite a bit, and then I worked in China in a couple of hotels there, and then last 14 years in Canada, different hotels, restaurants. My last job, like before I got into this business, was a Marriott Sheraton as a banquet supervisor. That's where I used to work. Uh,
Mm.
yeah, and then like my work hours were long, and it was not very convenient. I mean, the job that we do is never convenient. A lot of hours. You don't have time for your kids, your family.
You
Uh,
would barely see the kids with the number of like with the sort of because it would be go into the night like long shifts, wouldn't
yeah,
it?
yeah. My shift
Yeah.
used to start from 4 p.m. and it would go till 2, 3 p.m. Weekend sometimes. By the time I get home, it would be like 4 a.m. So
Wow.
yeah,
Yeah, that
it was crazy.
Yeah. So did you sort of leave that job and start the online business, or you had it overlapping for a while and then
Yeah,
you quit
yeah,
that?
yeah. So in 2019, the whole 2019, I worked and ran this business at the same time.
Hmm.
I
Oh,
had a
okay.
full-time job, and then 2020 we actually finally uh, quit our job, and then the pandemic started, and then we never went back to work. Neither my wife and I,
Right.
we don't work anymore. We are like
Oh,
solely doing this business. Yeah.
wow. That's a dream. That is really a dream, and all that in such a short time as well. That's really amazing. So how did you actually find out about this business? We sort of, there's advertisements everywhere. Did you see one of the
Yeah.
ads on one of the platforms?
Exactly. Yeah. So the way it started, my wife, like when my daughter was born, the oldest one, uh, she was 5 or 6 months old, and then that's when like my wife realized that her mat leave is coming to end soon, so then she needs to go back to work, and that's when she started feeling a little bit anxious that okay, how am I gonna go to work and where my daughter is gonna stay, and because I'm like at work all the time, right? So
Yeah.
she started to look in, and when you search, work from home jobs or something like, we did not really uh, look for this specific business, right? We're just looking for something that we can do from home, right?
Right.
And then
Okay.
once you search something like that, then this kind of advertising starts coming to your newsfeed, right? And that's how we got into it. And well, it wasn't as easy as I just said that we got into it. It's a different story because not everything you see online you should believe or you should get into. So we did
Yeah.
our researches and stuff, yeah. But
Did
that's
you
how we
did you
got into
try
it.
right? And did you try a couple of different things, or you just
Oh,
sort of test? You
thank
didn't
God.
actually
I
try
know
it.
I know so many people in this business, like in our community, that they have tried
Yeah.
so many other things. They have lost so much money, and then like Dave and Roxanne, like one of the biggest, earners in our community, they had 23 other businesses in last 7 or 8 years that they tried, and then they failed, or the company closed or something like that. Something happened, and then finally, for last five years, they're doing this, and now they're like way up there.
How
Uh,
well they're
so
doing now, yeah.
luckily, this was our first. Like I never tried anything online. I never started anything online. I never owned a business before ever. So this was
Wow.
the first one, and we are super blessed and lucky that the first one actually worked out.
Works so well. You wouldn't go anywhere else from here now.
Yep.
So when you guys first saw, were you and Rifat both sort of open to it, or were you a little bit, either one of you, skeptical at all, or not?
Both of us were skeptical because, like I said, that you cannot, you should not believe everything you see online, right?
Everything, yeah.
And so we were same. Like my wife actually told me about it. Hey, this is what I saw. People are doing it, and looks like they're making money as well. Do you want to check it out? And I was like, no, you can do whatever you want. I can help you, but I'm not going to get involved with selling lotion and potion, and asking friends and family to buy stuff. I'm not into that at all. I don't want to do this. And then she was like, no, this one is like, you don't have to sell anything. You don't have to bother friends and family. You don't have any inventory. So that's what they're saying. So why don't you check it out? And then I was like, after a few days of nagging, I was like, okay, I'll check it out. And then I watched the webinar, right? Like we all do. And then it seemed like really interesting because it was explaining that how it will operate and run through internet. Like you don't have to go to people or sell anything. That's what it was saying. And then I saw a bunch of people's testimony at the end, which was very, very fascinating because I was trying to, because I watched those webinars a few times, every week I would go there to watch live, and I was trying to find out if those are like those people are paid actor, or they're scripted. I was trying to watch carefully and see if they're like repeating stuff or same people coming on. I looked all those stuff, and then it's like no, the way they're talking, the scripted cannot be talked like that. Like you can tell that
Mm,
someone memorized it and then like pushing it out. And but these were like so genuine stories. There were people that they couldn't hold their tears while they're telling their story about how they got into the business and how this business changed their lives. So I did that for a couple of 2-3 weeks and watched them, and then I was like, no, I don't think these are fake people. I mean, you have that gut feeling, like you can feel it. So
yeah.
and then we went to the next step, and then we got into this whole community that we have. And then I saw at that time it was, I think, 5,700 people there. Now it's like 180,000, I think, or 81,000.
Yeah.
So it's huge now. But back then, when it was 5,000, I would look into those people's profiles and how much money they're making, because we all post our income and stuff in that group, right? So I was like, really, this is, because there are some numbers that is totally used to blow my mind. I was like, no, that's not possible. And then there's like little money as well, that people are making very little money. Then I'm like, okay, then it is, because I would go to their profile and see they're real people. No, they are real
Mm.
people. They're going out with their kids to the park, they're swimming, and then they're going to the grocery store. I see their pictures like that. So, and then I was like, okay, let's give it a try. And my plan was, beside my job, if we could make extra couple of $1,000, that would be enough. That was our plan. And thank God, and we got into this business before the pandemic, the year before pandemic. So
Oh, such good timing. Oh
thank
my goodness.
God. But no, we were not like, oh, this is a business, let's jump. No, we didn't. We did
Yeah.
our research. I was skeptical. I looked into so many things, because, and that's what I always tell people here too. Like when someone comes talk to me, I was like, you don't have to believe me. Go do your research, and
Yeah.
you find it for yourself. You know?
That's it. I think so many people like yourself who are so successful have an open mind and you don't need to believe something immediately, but as long as you got your mind open to it and you go and do the legwork, you go and do the research, because that's a struggle with some people. They sort of look at our business from the outside, and of course, because the numbers are phenomenal, even though we try not to quote anything because it's just not believable. When you look at something that's so amazing, you almost think it couldn't be true. So they look at it from the outside, they don't go do their research, they stay skeptical and they walk away from it. And a lot of them, a year or two later, they come back and, as you said, they see that, I'm still here, you're still here, our families, people can see everything about our families, it's all out there, we're still doing the work, and they're like, right, so this is probably real. And
Mhm.
then they come, but they've missed out on like 2 years of the business where they could have had incredible income. So it's so important to do that research and not have your mind closed off to it. And and I love to hear about this because so many people who are doing so well in this business and any other sort of business were the ones who actually, you don't have to be jumping at it, but they kept their mind open to it. So what made you guys, like, what was, I know you were working a lot of long hours. Was there anything else, or was that the main reason, the main challenge that you had, which brought you to looking for the business? Or
My reason was, I did not want to work for anyone else anymore.
yeah,
I did not, because around that time when I was looking for, because I've been looking, both my wife and I were looking for this kind of stuff even like year before that. We looked into Amazon FBA, I looked into eBay, Shopify, those kind of stuff. I even started a YouTube channel. So there were so many things that, because I knew that it is possible to earn online. You just have to find the right one, the one that
Just
fits you.
how, yeah.
I always believe that. I know people are doing it. I was looking for that right one for me. So
Mm,
at that time, I read somewhere that, job is something that actually, the salary, not the job, the salary is something that actually given to you for you to forget your own dreams.
yep, just like a bribe.
Yeah. So I'll
Yep.
give you money every month and you keep working for me. Let's make my dreams come true through you.
Yeah.
You know? So that kind of like really hit me, and I was like, I'm not gonna work for someone else and make them rich. I want to do
Mm,
something that 8 hours I'm gonna put on myself, on my business, no matter what. I didn't care at that time. I just wanted to do something on my own. I didn't know what I am gonna do, but I wanted to do something on my own. And then when I found this one, so this one actually filled up few of my requirements. Like I didn't like Amazon ABA. I didn't want to really do with inventory and shipping, or like now Amazon apparently do the whole shipping as well. But you still have to have invest like 30, 40, 50, 60 grand, and then buy that product and have them in the warehouse or somewhere in China or whatever, and then there are so many other costs, and um, you don't even make that much money until you get to that first few rows. When, because like say for example, if you want to sell this pen, there's like 200,000 other people selling the same pen on Amazon, right? So you have
yeah.
to see that, you have to find that right product and all this. We have so many people even in our business who used to do Amazon and doing this now, right? So
Mm,
so this one, you don't have inventory, you don't have to do worry about shipping and stuff. And then there are other businesses that you have to go to your friends and family to sell lotion and shampoo and all those kind of makeup stuff. No, that's like a
don't
big
like
no for
that.
me.
Yeah.
And so when I looked into it, I was like, okay, these are like all checking my requirements there. So let's try this one. And that's how we got into it. But it was it was those moments when I realized that there are opportunities out there. I just have to find the right one. So as soon
Yeah.
as I found this one, the 2019, I was like super focused on my business, and I hated to go to work. Like every single minute I was there, I was like, this is just total waste of my time. And as soon as I quit my job. When I
What a good day.
when I started making just enough that would actually like replace my salary, that's it. I quit my job.
Yeah, and you had that trust in the business. Yeah, we looked into Amazon as well, and actually, in all honesty, Amazon was one of our top sort of. We were quite set on that. We explored so many different options, and Amazon was one of them. And we had seen, like, even our own friends had done Amazon, and they were stuck with all this inventory that they could not sell. The competition was so much, no support whatsoever. So you're just kind of thrown into this big ocean of like billions of products, and here you are trying to, make yours stand out. And it was such a journey. I think they spent, gosh, I don't know, 5, 6 years sort of working on it, and they came to the conclusion that no, it's not for us. And with our system, it's just so easy because it's not easy, but it's simple because it's all tested. Like you don't have to go searching for the products. You don't have to
Hmm.
talk to anyone. Even I was saying, if someone's an introvert, like, because a lot of people, because I'm a real estate agent, and they think because I'm used to sales, because I sell homes, um, that is why I can do this. And I said, no, honestly, this has nothing to do with that, because if you don't want to, you don't even talk to a single person. If we do lives, it's because we like to do it, and they will also change when they come into the business. But it's not a requirement for the business. It's not a requirement to talk to anyone. Um, you know, it's such a different. And that's why, when because I had searched so many different things, when I saw this one, And I had even seen things similar to this, but the business model here was so good. My mind was absolutely blown. Like things like the retirement plan. Like
Hmm.
for me, I was like, this is like a dream come true, because I remember the days I would go into work, and before real estate, I was doing accounting, which I had no interest in, and I changed from accounting into real estate quite early on. But I would go into office and I would think to myself, I had this feeling in the back of my mind, I was thinking like, I have to do this every day for the rest of my life. And if I don't keep doing this, I can't live. Like my livelihood depends on this boss still liking me, still being happy with my work. And to me, that felt like such a jail sentence, really. Like, it was always in my mind that I want to be financially free somehow, but I have to find a way. And offline business didn't, I thought about it, but it did not attract me the same way, even though now I have my own real estate business, but that is also flexible and something I do from home as well. So it's a different um, field. So did you ever consider offline business at all, or it was
Yeah,
never in the cards?
since I was in hotel industry, I wanted to open my own
Mm,
restaurant.
yeah.
Right, I wanted to open my own restaurant so that I could work for myself. But then I worked for a guy. I worked in a restaurant as a manager, and he was the owner. And when I saw him, the amount of time, stress, and effort that he puts in, and he has been owning that for 22 years, and he
Wow.
still comes at like 9 in the morning, and then he goes at 9 in the evening, and or sometimes even midnight, right? And then that dream kind of faded away slowly. That because you, like you said, that you want a little bit of freedom, like with the restaurant business in Canada, and I'm pretty sure in Australia as well. Like it's a good business, restaurant business, if you can run it properly, and then it goes, from people to people, mouth to mouth, that okay, that restaurant, that food is good, then you're good. It will run. But it's like hell of a job to keep it running. You
Yeah.
always have inventory issues. You all have mostly, like, I managed that place for 4 years. As a manager, I used to hire and fire and train and all those. Like, it's so hard to keep staff, because
Yeah.
server or cooking job is very, because you can just quit from here and just go to the next door and get another job again, right?
Easy. Yeah.
So if someone I hire and I train them for a month, and then after a month, just when they're all well trained, and then she quits or she doesn't show up to work, you know, it's a hassle. So
Yeah.
you make good money in the restaurant business, but it's not worth it, because you are like, he never ever goes for a holiday, ever.
How
Like
could
he's
you?
like
Yeah.
every day 365, like every day, right?
Yeah.
Then I realized, okay, no, this is not what I want to do. I still have a plan, because I have some passion about restaurant. I want to
Mm,
own a good restaurant someday, but I'm gonna do that when I can just open it up and just overview the whole operation stuff, and I'll have people to run it. I'm not gonna
yeah.
go there and cut onions with my staff because other staff member called in sick. Um,
Exactly.
that's when I'm gonna do, if someday I feel like it. But that was my offline thoughts. And then because right now, look, this year only, if I talk about this year, from January of 2023, I started off, I think January 23rd or January 22nd, we went on a cruise, right in the beginning of this year. And then after a month, we went on to Europe, and then it came back from there for a month, and then we went to Vancouver in Canada, and then from there we went to Las Vegas, and then Orlando, and then we moved. Like this year, we went for like 5 6 overseas trips, and I still had three more that I could have gone, but I'm like so tired of traveling now.
Yeah.
I want to just stay home.
That's a
So
good
this
problem to have.
right, this is a good problem to have. So now this cannot be possible if I had a restaurant. Like I would have
No.
probably make good amount of money, but I couldn't go. Right now, even tomorrow, if I feel like going somewhere, I can just pack up and get my kids on a plane and gone. I don't have to
Yeah.
ask for someone's permission to, hey boss, can I, you know, I don't even have to worry about money. I don't even have to worry about anything, right? That's the freedom that you want. And
The freedom is huge. It's so empowering, you know. It gives you such a liberating feeling that you know, you're not stuck to anything anymore. You can just literally do whatever you want whenever you want.
your
Literal meaning.
business is still running. All those
Still
trips
right.
that I'm talking about, every time we come back from those holidays, there is money sitting on my mailbox. There's checks, right? How good feeling is that? Like it just feels so good. Like people who actually do this business will know.
And on the flip side, normally when normal people who are working for someone else go on a holiday, they normally come back with a massive bill on their credit card, which then they sit and go, right, we had a great time, but now we're more stressed than we were before because now we're going to think about how to pay this off.
Mhm.
And that's the situation with the inflation and everything. A lot of people are still trying to live a normal life and pretend it's all within their means when it actually isn't. You know, they're trying to live a lifestyle that is not feasible anymore with the current costs, um, and they're sort of not waking up to that. It's funny you mentioned, you know, with the restaurants. When I was in high school and as in the first few years of my uni years before I started working in my own relevant field to my work, I was doing a lot of work for many years in a lot of Indian restaurants, and I remember like the number of hours I would see the bosses, you know, put in there. And one of those restaurants, you know, the owner had 4 restaurants, and they were pretty well staffed too, you know, like the kitchen staff of it, you know, but he constantly had battles with waiters and waitresses leaving, as you said, just, you know, and he could never leave. He was stuck to that restaurant. He could never leave because you kind of you even he had cameras everywhere. He had everything set up, but you get this attachment where you think things will just fall apart if you leave. So he's constantly there, no quality of life. His house was upstairs from where he was living, you know, sorry, where his restaurant was. So you just that's there. That's your whole world is in that. And I remember when I was at some point working in an office, in a real estate office, in my beginning years as an agent, my boss would always say, as soon as you come back from a holiday, book your next one so you know what you're working towards. And and then I used to think to myself, oh my God, there is such a world out there, and we are stuck in this little office here. You know, we're just stuck, just working, you know, working away. And there's this whole massive world out there. Am I going to get to see even half of that in my lifetime? It did not seem possible at that time. So this business is a true blessing, and anyone who is privileged enough to sort of be in this business, my personal belief is they've done something right in their life that this business has come their way because it has changed so many. We have so many successful people in this business,
And
don't
there's
we?
few other things that all those travels that I have done, I can claim them because I'm paying taxes,
Yeah.
right? So those not only when I come back, there's money sitting there for me in the mailbox. That trip that I have just taken, it's part of my business,
Yep.
right? Because there's like that cruise, the Las Vegas ones. Those are my business trips. I took, those are strictly just for business. We went there now,
Mm.
and the second thing is, it's not only you that making money. You are actually helping the other person who were just in your spot few years ago, right? So like me, I have over 6,000 people that I helped so far to start this
Wow.
business. Now I'm helping them to become free, right? So that's another satisfaction that you get from this business.
It's
When you see,
huge.
when I see that someone who started business with me, or I taught the business, and then that person is making really good money now, that is a different kind of satisfaction that you get. You know, in the job or any other businesses, you just try to burn other people to make money. Like in that
Yeah,
restaurant business, like the servers or the cook used to get paid really low. And I know how
yeah.
much my boss used to make because I see all of his accounts and everything, right? So we're getting paid like this little every night or every month. If I count, like every night we used to make like 20 to 30 thousand dollars, right? There's five
Wow.
people working, and everyone is getting like $15 an hour. So he just spent like not even $2,000 that night and made $13,000. So end of the month, 13,000 times 30. So it's like huge, and I
Mm.
know that how much. So, but in this business, it's not only I'm making money, I'm helping other person to do the same so that they also can make the same money. And I have people in my team who makes more than I do.
That was the other thing I was gonna ask, yeah, about, because that's the thing in this business. However hard you want to work is what you're gonna achieve. Like, you're not restricted. There's no capping. There's no glass ceiling. You can go as far as you want with it, right?
Exactly, exactly.
Yeah. No, it's a true blessing. And so, what would you say to anyone if who is sort of thinking about it but sitting on the fence? If there's sort of one piece of advice you're going to give them,
One piece, if I do one piece, that would be just do it. You
just
know,
do it. Yep.
don't sit on the fence, and because you can do that for your whole life, not only for this business. No matter where you go, no matter what you want to do, if you're skeptical and you're just sitting on the fence, you're just gonna end up doing whatever you're doing right now, and then 2, 3, 4 years later, you're gonna see me or Sena's buying a jet plane or a yacht, and you're gonna just wish like, oh,
Yeah,
that's true. That's true. Like
that is true.
people who started this business 4 years ago are like completely paid off their debt. They're living in a $2 or $3 million house. They're going wherever they want. It's unbelievable. And what I always say, if someone who is watching this one right now, that means you at some point, were interested in this business. That's why you are watching this right now, right? So now my uh, philosophy is like, if you, and I read it somewhere, I just remember, if you want to change, you cannot do the same thing and expect a different result.
Yeah, exactly.
You
If
cannot.
nothing changes, nothing changes.
Exactly. If you want different result, then you have to do something differently. You cannot plant a mango tree, and then expect a jackfruit from that tree,
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
So you are here for a reason. You are here because you wanted a change. So you have to do something different, and this is different, right? You cannot keep doing your, you know, regular job or whatever you're doing and then expect like, okay, one day I'm gonna wake up and I'm gonna be so rich and I'm gonna be free and my life is gonna be great. It's never. I can guarantee you, it's not gonna happen unless
Yeah,
you
so
take
stop
that.
buying lottery tickets and just sitting there waiting.
Exactly. You can buy lottery ticket, or you can do like cryptocurrency, or share stock exchange. But those are gambles. If you want to do that, go do that. That's fine.
Yeah,
But all the
exactly.
successful people that you see, like Elon Musk or Steve Jobs or Mark Zuckerberg, they never bought a lottery ticket and become rich and become wealthy. The wealth
No,
does not come that way. Never. Success will never come easy.
exactly. Yeah. Awesome. Thank you so much. I hope you all enjoyed listening to Words of Wisdom by our successful Tanvir, and it was really lovely chatting with you. Thank you so much for making the time. I know with a massive team, you are busy, and with your family and everything, and in between all your travels, you squeeze us in. Really appreciate it. Thank you all also for watching us, and hope you all have a fantastic day and night. Is there anything else you wanted to add on before we end the live, Tanvir?
No, like I said, that if you are looking for something, then you can give it a try, and then you'll know if this is for you or not. Until you try, you're never gonna know if this
Yeah.
was for you or not. So yeah, give it a try.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Thanks, everyone.
Yeah.
Bye.
Bye bye.